Okay, so you caught me at a bad time because I wasn't really prepared, so thank you very much for that one.
Well, you had a sign.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You meant in the future, huh? You didn't mean right now?
No, but it's okay. I'm already happy that we can do this because I've been trying long and hard.
Well, you know, you'd be amazed at some of the people that actually do get to interview us, so go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm surprised you've had a hard time is what my point.
Yeah?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to do like a more personal interview because Taste the TV, we try to focus on why people listen to music, and especially your music, because it's all about emotion. Right. So maybe I'll ask you some personal questions. If you don't want to answer them, just don't. And I promise you there will be nothing in there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't usually get too personal, but it depends on what you ask, so.
Okay. Well, it's mostly about, I mean, you've been an inspiration for so many kids, and not only for kids, but also for me, personally, because with Taste the TV and stuff, yeah, you just inspire people. And what is so great about the way that you do it is, I mean, you just say to people, be yourself. And for you, how difficult is it to be yourself?
You know, honestly, it used to be very difficult. When I was in high school or middle school, it was extremely difficult being yourself. And it actually, they kind of almost beat it out of me. Not physically, but there was a time where I definitely tried to fit in for no reason, like, or because I felt like I didn't want to struggle anymore. And I went through that about, I'd say in middle school, very briefly, and then I said, you know what, this isn't me, I'm not happy, I'm going to wear what I want to wear, I'm going to hang out who I want to hang out with, you know, I'm not a bad kid, I'm not like stealing bikes or taking drugs, I'm just like a kid that likes heavy metal, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then in high school, same thing, I was just myself, and everybody, as soon as punk broke, all of a sudden anybody like me, which was maybe about 5 people in the whole school, became really cool, and they would just be like, why, you know, like, well, how'd you get into this stuff? And it's like, I just liked what I liked, and I was myself. And all of a sudden, that made you cool. I don't know if that's cool anymore, but it was when I was in high school, eventually. So, and it's not about being cool. Like, I actually didn't even give a shit when you know, all the jocks and whatever finally did accept me. I really didn't even hang out with them. I didn't at all. Like, I didn't have any care to hang out with them because I actually think being cool is one of the worst things in the world. I actually strive against fitting in and being cool. I think it's lame, I think it's whack, I think it's an empty, hollow pursuit. I think you could spend your time doing so many more great things you could create, you know? But anyway, so that leads us to the band. With the band, people often ask why we got big so fast. And the honest, basic answer is because we were ourselves. Yeah. And it was easy. And we just were ourselves immediately. And we just got lots of fans. And because we didn't take anybody's shit and we were ourselves. And the minute we stop doing that and try to fit in is the minute the band will suck. So we don't do that.
Well, if you had to describe yourself, what would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I'm genuinely a mellow guy. I don't do good under stress. I do good under stress and pressure on stage, and whenever I have to deliver, kind of with the band. But off stage, I have a hard time dealing with stress. I'm quiet. I'm completely normal. I like to sit and draw a lot. I like to watch movies. I like to read comics. I like to read actual books. I like to hang out with my guys in the band. And I only have 3 best friends besides them in the whole world. So, and they're the same best friends I've had since before the band. So, you know, I'm genuinely a simple guy.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't seem it. I mean, if I had to describe you, I would say someone who wants to change the world. Am I mistaken in that? Or not?
No, I mean, we all did. Well, we all still do want to change the world, and but I think you could still kind of be simple and do it. I think you just gotta, you know, be who you are and assert yourself creatively. Like, I don't think I'm completely normal or average creatively. I think that's where we really kind of shine as people. And I think we're very bold and very assertive and very aggressive with our vision. And so I think in that way, we're not kind of apt to just sit around, you know?
Yeah. Well, if you could change the world, just imagine that you have all of the power, what would you change?
It's so tough. I mean, like, you know, I think honestly, like, we've always been more interested in how people treat each other than politics. Yeah. you still see a lot of rampant problems. I think that's why another reason why we started our band is because we wanted to create an environment where there wasn't racism or sexism or homophobia, because in the scene that we came from, we still saw that. And we decided again to not fit in, and we decided to detach ourselves from that scene, which is why we're so opposed to the emo term and why we're so opposed to really a lot of those terms, you know, because we weren't part of it. We declined, politely declined very early to be a part of that stuff, because we'll just fuck it, create our own shows. It's all about our show. I don't care where it happens. If it's 5 kids, 500, 5,000, whatever. Like, so that's what I would change. I would really change intolerance and how people treat each other. I think all of our real problems stem from how people treat each other and misunderstanding each other. I think it's the reason that there's wars and that there's killings and so much. I mean, obviously there's a ton of problems, but I think they all stem from that.
Well, why do you think that people treat each other like that? Do you have an explanation for that?
I think people they're fearful of what they don't understand. That's the main thing. I think they're animalistic and tribal in nature. So if there's a gang mentality, it's very dangerous. You can see the dangers of gang mentality at things like festivals, you know what I mean? And lots of people get hurt. Some people get killed. You see it at soccer games. You see it in America. Gang mentality is what can push kids into shooting other kids. And that's not by any means condoning what those kids do. I think those kids that shoot other kids are awful, awful people. I just think sometimes they're a product of gang mentality and misunderstanding, and I feel that so that's a dangerous thing. You get a lot of people together, for some reason the IQ just drops. So at our show, we are very confident the IQ stays very high at our shows.
Well, yeah, I think so too.
Right? Then you get a vibe. I mean, I've seen fights occasionally. In the 6 years we've been a band, where it's just our shows. We've played other people's shows where there's fights, but just our shows, I think I've seen 4 fights.
Yeah.
And that's an honest answer. And that's not a lot for playing probably thousands of shows. You know?
Yeah. So. Well, you're correct, because normally the fans are really nice to each other and they take care of each other. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I see people just get too excited.
Yeah.
So anyway, why people, get back to why people mistreat each other, I think is they don't understand, and they're afraid of that, and they're animalistic, and they only know how to lash out.
Yeah.
They don't want to love and they don't want to accept. So.
Well, you just said to me that you're like a normal guy, but do you still think that because you see so many people with this gang mentality and with this fear and following each other, and you're not? So
right. I mean, I see what your point is. You would say then that I'm not normal because they're normal, and that's what a normal person does.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I know that's in my life is not like that. Yeah. So I think a normal, it's hard to say. I don't know. I put myself in a weird predicament here with my answers, but maybe I'm not normal, but maybe then our fans aren't normal either. Maybe we're the exception of the rule. Yeah. I'd always like to think that our fans are the exception of the rule.
Yeah.
So.
I think so too. I think I'm not normal. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We're all like, when I use the term normal, I mean it loosely, and I mean it to say that I like a cup of tea just like anybody else. Yeah. And I like sitting around drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean by normal. Like, I don't like paint myself in like red paint naked and run around like.
No.
I don't do anything like that. I guess that's my point. I'm a little bit strange, but I guess I'm normal in my tastes. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Okay. Well, maybe something funny also, because I mean, you said if life ain't just a joke, then why are we laughing? So I think we should laugh a bit too. So what's the most? Wait, let me think, because you caught me off guard here. Well, in Oakland, you said a funny thing. You said, lots of motherfuckers and fucking and stuff like that. And then you said you had a filthy mouth. Yeah. And then you told the audience that they don't know where it has been. So
right. That was actually a moment that I had on stage where I was just, sometimes like I'll just completely snap out of it and break character, and I'll have those little moments of clarity where I'll actually genuinely into the mic be like, I don't really know why I curse so much. And that was all that was me. There's a lot of stuff on stage that's unplanned. There's a lot of things that fit into the song that I do show-to-show basis that just fit to me, and I love doing them, like crying at the end of Mama, for example. It's always going to happen. It's just funny to me. Sometimes I change it up, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I was cursing a lot, and then I was like, man, I'm sure cursing a lot, and then I was like, why do I was thinking out loud, and sometimes that happens on stage, and some of my favorite shows are when I'm thinking out loud, so.
Yeah. Well, what are the things that you think about, like what keeps you awake at night?
Luckily, because of our schedule, nothing keeps me awake at night.
Yeah?
I lay down in that bunk when I'm tired, and I go to bed right away.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if I had to pick something that has, I mean, I don't have a lot of fears anymore in terms of like accomplishment. I think accomplishment used to keep me up at nights. I was always afraid that I wasn't going to amount to anything, because that's kind of what me and the guys were told, not by our parents, but by our teachers, not all of them, but generally, and by kids at school that thought we were different, telling us we were nothing, we were insignificant, or being treated like we were invisible. So, you know, that's why there's that line in the end that says, you know, when I grow up I want to be nothing at all. It's kind of like a fuck you to all that, and a fuck you to all those people that would have said we're going to be nothing anyway. So, the question was, though,
well, what keeps you awake at night?
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with accomplishing something with myself, you know. I
completely understand what you mean.
That keeps you up, you know. You want, not even a career, like you want to make a mark, or not even a mark. You want to create something that people can read or watch or listen to, and I've always wanted to create, and so that used to keep me up. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and yesterday I got an email, and I've been trying to get this interview for like over 6 months. And yesterday I got an email that said, interview cannot happen.
Right.
And at that moment I just wanted to chuck everything away.
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of control over that. The funny thing about you getting an email like that is that I did 2 interviews today that were both fucking awful. Yeah. And I don't even know how they got in the building. Probably because they're from a radio station, and it's like, just because somebody has a radio station, the questions I was asked were not worth my time to leave the dressing room where I was writing, you know, and that it upsets you to find out that just because somebody has some airtime, they can ask you the most ridiculous things in the world. When somebody, that's why when I saw your sign tonight saying you want to interview me, I was like, you know what, I guarantee this interview is going to be better than any interview I've given all week. So this is the interview that I'm going to do because I want to do it, and it's probably going to be fucking awesome. So, and that's the point. Like, a lot of that stuff we don't have control over, and we've been so overworked lately, we've cut a lot of press. Yeah. But here we are anyway, so sometimes hopefully this can happen. I'd rather this happen than...
And is it worth it?
Is what?
The interview? Be careful what you say.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I was just backstage before I came in to do it, and they were like, are you really going to do that? I was like, yeah, because I feel screwed out of my interviews today. Like, I wasted an hour of my life that I'll never get back giving shitty interviews when I could actually give a good one, and it's probably going to be more interesting than anything I've said all week. So, and they were like, you know, they would have any one of the guys would have done the interview too. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk to you because I think you write the songs, no? So it's from
we all do, actually.
You all?
Yeah, we all write the songs. I think that's a common, unfortunate misconception amongst not you, but a lot of the bigger press sometimes that we do. It's just a misconception. They completely centralize around me, and it's extremely aggravating because I am in a band with 4 guys that bust their ass just as much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gerard, I want to thank you very much for this interview, and you made my day.
I'm glad.
And I don't know, do you have anything else that you want to send out into this world? Now, keep in mind that our viewers, they watch this with their heart.
Right.
And lots of them are depressed and have lots of problems, but they also can have fun.
Right.
So what would you want to say to them?
I mean, honestly, like, you know, as far as things about depression and things like that, I've always said that it's more important to keep yourself alive. There's nothing worth even hurting yourself over. I mean, I'm a person that goes through a lot of depression and stress and things like that. I'm generally happier these days, but it's normal. It's completely normal to be depressed. So I think it's good to have a support group. It's good to have people you can call. It's good to talk to your folks. I think it's just important that you keep yourself alive. You just stay fighting, because it actually isn't that bad. I mean, we started this band thinking the world was extremely ugly, and I think now we realize that it's more beautiful than we thought, and I think our music is now reflective of that.
Yeah.
So, if anything, you could take it from a guy in his band who used to think everything was shit, and we've found that it's not all shit.
Have you changed?
I have, and I am very happy with how we've changed. We've all changed. Like, I can find real beauty in things. I was never able to do that. I thought everything disgusted me, and I was a very angry little dude, and I don't feel so angry anymore. I just want to kind of give the world something special.
Well, you know what? Stop smoking.
Yeah.
Because that's bad for your health.
I know.
We don't want to lose you, and thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.